You know, I always say, you ask 10 questions of the same attorney, how many answers do you get? And it's the same with CPAs. So if somebody lived in it and then moved out of it and is renting it, do they still get to take their, if they sell it in 10 or 11, do they still get to take their primary residence exclusion because they lived in it 2 out of the last? I don't know. I mean, I would say not, because
Starting January '09, let's just say you had a rental property for 20 years.
have a rental for 20 years.
And it's valued at X dollars. Is it revalued then in '09? And if you move in 210, does the appreciation start for those years?
No.
Or is it the whole?
The gain is the gain.
The gain is the gain.
The gain is the gain. So say somebody, let's say somebody paid $200,000 for a rental house and they sell it for 8. The gain is the gain. Because that's what they're going to look at. The gain is the gain. And I'm going to go over this a little bit later. We'll try to get through these slides. But, you know, and I do seminars all over the country, and I've learned that some people get confused between equity and gain. Some people think they pay capital gains tax on their equity. So you had a question.
Yeah, I do, because I have a piece of property, I moved to one side and the other side, on and on.
A duplex.
Well, actually, no.
Okay.
Saratoga has a cottage.
Okay.
So I go in and out.
Okay. Well, starting,
Now, do I turn it into a rental as of January 1st?
you know, remember, anything that's a rental that you claim it as an investment property on your tax return, you can do a 1031 exchange into something
I
else.
understand, but you would still like to get some cash back. So the last 2 years, I've been in the smaller portion of the property, and I was thinking about just renting it out and selling it. I'm still in there, most of the 2 on the last 2
Well,
years.
you got to talk to your CPA about what is the best route for you to take that's going to be the best thing for you tax.
But just looking at the fact that I've lived in it for 2 out of the last 5, after January 1st, it would only start the countdown differently as of January.
January 1, starting January 1, whatever if the primary residence, if it's your primary residence and you sell it in 2010, or say you sell it in 2015, they're going to look, what was it in starting January 109? And whatever that pro rata share is going to be deducted if you haven't totally lived in it the whole time. That's why I'm saying if anybody has a rental that they want to take the primary residence exclusion on, they better move into it December 31st. Live there 9 and 10, sell it, and then you can take your full primary residence exclusion because they don't look back.
I think one way that I heard somebody explain this, because it seems like there's a lot of misunderstanding, it made sense to a lot of people who were hearing it before, was that after January 1st, there's a period that's non-qualifying period.
Whatever the non-qualified period is.
Because I don't think you mentioned that right now, did you?
January 1.
Yeah, so non-qualifying period never goes away.
Well, no, but when you go to sell a residence that you're claiming as your primary residence, they're going to look back to January 109, and any non-qualified use is going to be prorated and deducted. And that means if it was a second home, a vacation home, a rental property.
And that's out of the 500 or 250, depending on.
Yeah, so like
just that portion.
If it was a rental for 9 and 10, and you lived in it 11 and 12 and then sold it, you non-qualified for 2 years, primary residence for 2 years, 50% of the primary residence exclusion gets deducted. And you know what? Did we email you guys the email blast we sent out about this, about 121? I'll get that email to everybody so you can get it out there. Excuse me. Okay, so we covered the first item and covering second homes and vacation homes. Yes.
I want to focus on the below the graph.
Yes.
So if you have somebody who has owned the property for 30 years, and the last 2 years they've rented it out, and they decide to sell it after January 1st, are they gonna look at those, are they gonna prorate the 2 years?
They're only gonna look at what the use was starting January 109.
Okay, so
Okay.
if they decide to sell anytime in a year, it's just
Right.
1 year.
Right. In other words, if they rented it in 5 and 6, it doesn't count because they don't look back.
They'll just start.
Right, January
So if
1.
they rent it 2 years after and decide to sell, it'll be two.
That's right. If they rent it for 09 and 10, then they're going to look at it. If it was prior to that, they're not going to
Wait
look
a
at it.
minute, would
So-
you rephrase that? Because you said that you're looking at only 2 seconds of a...
Right.
Do you know, yeah, do me a favor. Let's hold any other questions till the end, you know, kind of mull it over in your minds, or I'll never get through it. And then I get distracted. So, I'm going to run real quick through the basics. And you all know the basics of a 1031 exchange. You sell investment property, you buy investment property. It's really very simple. And for you, it's like any other sale. You just have some nuances. But I feel sorry for you because your clients sometimes have all these bright ideas that create little messes for themselves right when they go to do an exchange. But the basic rule is, and let's go through this. So, understanding the 1031 exchange, like I said, we've been a qualified intermediary is the new term. How many of you have heard the term accommodator? So the old term is accommodator, the new term is qualified intermediary. How many of you have heard the term down leg and up leg? See, the property being sold used to be referred to as the down leg. Property being purchased were referred to as the up leg. Now, the new term, relinquished and replacement property, seems a little more civilized, right? So, U.S. National, like I said, we're owned by Title Resource Group. We do business all over the country, and I apologize. I forgot to turn my cell phone on. Oh dear. I can't believe I did that. But I've done it, and sometimes it seems to come back on. So we've been in business since '79. We have 30 million in bonding. Stability, protection, longevity, history, expertise. And the 1031 exchange is, we only do real estate, like you only do real estate. But there are other types of exchanges. There's personal property exchanges. Somebody can exchange a yacht for a yacht, an airplane for an airplane. We only do real estate, just like you. You sell an investment property and you buy an investment property. And it can be any kind of investment property. And I cannot tell you how much misinformation there is out there. I had a call just the other day from a Coldwell Banker agent in Florida. He's listed a mobile home park, $4 million mobile home park, and the seller's CPA told the seller that she had to buy a mobile home park. How many of you have heard that? You have to buy the same type of property you sell. That used to be the interpretation of like for like kind. It's not that way anymore. So you can sell vacant land and you can buy income producing property. So I can't tell you how important that is and how much misinformation there is out there about it. So we sell investment property, we buy investment property. We can sell and buy anywhere in the United States. You can sell one property, buy two. If your client doesn't want to pay any capital gains tax, they have to buy something of equal or greater value, sale price to sale price. And I'm going to write this up. Okay, sale price to sale price. And you put a loan on the new equal to the loan on the old. You come into title the way you go out of title. IRS says, how have you been filing your tax return on the property you're selling? You want to be doing it the same way in the property you're buying. Which brings me to the IRS came out with information recently on partnerships. Because partnership sells, partnership buys. Now we're not talking about 4 of us owning a property as each is to another.